Okay, so I found the new place for doing gun videos. It's beautiful. I could do it anywhere. And like the tilt is just right. You are on the hood of the Ghost Rider. I call this car the Ghost Rider because, I don't know if you noticed this, but in the Ghost Rider, whatever the Ghost Rider rides becomes the Ghost Rider's ride. My last car was a OD green FJ Cruiser. I basically bought this thing because I wanted an Asian car and I wanted a cheap car and I wanted a lot of room inside and I wanted it to be cheap. So this thing cost me $2,000 and I drove it 140 miles all the way to Idabel and back to go see Bear Independent, who is a cult, by the way. Don't go see him. And it made that whole trip, you know, I was impressed. In this video, let's talk about spray painting guns. I think that'll be cool. We have this thing too we could talk about. Let's put you up there. So, you want to spray paint a gun. My advice to you, first off, less is more. And I know you're saying, how on earth could you say that when you have these? Yeah, hear me out. When I say less is more, with spray paint, you need to do very light coats. And like, if you notice on here, there's like black showing through. It looks cool. Occasionally fuck up a little bit. That's my advice to you. It kind of gives it a quality of, I don't know, I just like it. Also, there's like random shit on here. So like, I started experimenting on this thing because, I don't know, I kind of had an idea at first that I was going to give this to someone I really love. And the more I think about it, the more I'm like, fuck that bitch. And like, that's half of this. She was a communist, so I had painted this on there. And then got to thinking about it, and like, no, if I give it to her at all, I'm going to paint Wolverines over her communist emblem. Because this is the way, right? Like, for a lot of these, what I do is, for example, this is a decal. That's the Soviet emblem. You put that down, quickly just over it, pull the fucking decal. Very little paint, and pull it quick. That'll give you the best pull. And like on this one in particular, it overran and shit because it is what it is. This was also a vinyl decal. This was too. This is just dripping drops of spray paint. And kind of made a little frog pattern patch back here that I dig. The tiger striping is painter's tape. You just roll the gun in it. For the Wolverines, that's actually painted with a brush. Yeah, you can spray paint with a brush by spraying it into a bowl and using it. I wouldn't do too much of that, but I've painted entire paintings that way now because I just wanted to see what it would look like. On this side, we got crazy dots and shit. I'm like, this is like some Native American looking shit mixed in with Mandalorian shit, so it's like sand people or some shit. I don't know. I dig it. And, you know, that's kind of the weirdness that's been done to this. These were both painted by hand. That was a decal. Most of the rest of this is hand. I would mix it up. Like, you can definitely add some custom flair for the cost of a $3 pack of brushes from Amazon and a couple of plastic bowls. I would buy a roll of painter's tape. What else? We can talk about that. A lot of people use burlap or some other kind of fucking fishnet thing to spray over things. This is a French-made uniform. I had an extra piece to it, and yeah, that's literally what that is. I have a picture of my girlfriend Dakota in said uniform. God, she was hot. Still thinking about that. I need a minute now. She's like standing in the doorway to my bedroom wearing that uniform and like kind of looking to the side all slutty. Like, I miss her. So like you can do shit like that even. Like there's literally lace from fucking panties basically on my fucking rifle. This thing is my take at Rhodesian camo. This is satin avocado. And this is some sort of yellowy green chartreuse shit that was next to it. I don't remember what it is. They're both a Krylon color though. And this is just the OD. And I kind of just did some stripes of the greens. The satin avocado and that chartreuse. Kind of lightly, haphazard, not caring what got hit, what didn't. Because I was wanting some black in it. And ended up having too much black, and I filled in a lot of it with brush, and that honestly is how you get shit like this. The satin avocado plus a paintbrush equals Rhodesian really, really nicely. And you know, for the other color of Rhodesian, this is just Krylon camo OD green. So I think it makes a pretty convincing Rhodesian. It's my own kind of thing. Like I call it Loki. Like, this AR-15 is a Loki. Which if you look at it, it does look like if a AR-15 was ever a Loki, it's this one. Look at its color scheme, look how it's set up, and then it can take a bayonet. Loki likes to stab people. You know. This thing is, I don't know. I wish I hadn't done that. That's a Mandalorian skull that just kind of failed. Because the can of paint decided to take a shit. That is what it is. The Cux Raider with the red fill. You know. Because you gotta like make it extra cringe, right? I kind of like my my guns because I've just personalized them so much. I don't consider these to be cringe bait. Okay, the bottom one there is just, that was Dakota's gun, and I was kind of thinking that if she ever wanted it back, I would give it to her. But it's one that I bought on a fucking 4473, so I kind of still have it. And she's old enough to come and get it now. And she still hasn't. And I painted it because that bitch broke my heart. And she didn't really care for painted guns. But I think she would dig what I did to this one. Maybe. Or she'd hate it forever. Either way, I don't really give a fuck. I don't know. That's, you know, half of the thought behind this gun is that I wanted to make it kind of crazy. And that one I wanted to make it kind of Rhodesian / Australian camo. Australians have some really weird jungle camo. I like to play around with paint. Like, I know both of these are mine. You won't ever see another AR-15 like either one of these. You know? Stop cloning shit. Go do your own shit. Be my advice to you. And when it comes to paint on rifles, I would never do anything but spray paint. I want it to wear off. By doing Duracoat or Cerakote or whatever, you're just making it look new forever, and I hate that. So, anyway, I hope somebody got something out of this video. If you have any questions about painting guns, feel free to ask. My general solution for this is basically just to roll them in tape, throw out a bunch of USPS boxes on the lawn, and use that as a fucking backdrop, or hang them from a tree. Get a piece of paracord and loop it somewhere and hang them. You can do any of that. It doesn't really matter. I kind of prefer setting them on the USPS boxes, though, and going with really light coats, because then you can stand it up and let the drips dry and shit and, like, control it a little bit more. Well, now the ghetto bird's here, so we gotta go. I'm not gonna say that. I always wish that I had kept one of the targeting pods from the Stinger missiles. I don't know that every helicopter would be able to fucking detect that thing locking on, but Sure would make TPD's life spicy, wouldn't it? I think about that a lot. I had a point in my life where I was sitting on a crate of those things in some other country and could have easily scored one of the little laser modules that, no, didn't. Be fucking hilarious just to watch it start popping fucking chafe across fucking Tulsa. Half of the helicopters the police fly around here are Loches, which definitely have that shit built into them. I don't know if they've dismantled it or not. But it's one of those things that they probably have it set on auto because of terrorism. Which means that you could just make a police helicopter pop its fucking cherry anytime you wanted. Anyway, have fun with that last little note.